afternoon, everybody. This is Anshi, and for our last Friday chair yoga class of February, the theme is variable lands, or basically it's a balance theme. We are going to need a yoga blanket or a substitute in order to create a little bit of an uneven surface for us to balance on. And the idea of that is that it helps to awaken the intrinsic foot muscles, and it helps to improve our stability. So that's the only prop that I'm thinking for today, and we're gonna get started as per usual on the chair. So this is my blanket, and I'm just gonna fold it like this for now. See, my feet aren't in the camera, so I'm gonna move back a little. Okay. And you're just grounding your feet into the floor, balancing on your chair, and your choice. Eyes can be closed or eyes can be open. And we're just using our attention and our breath as a tool to turn back in. So feel your feet on the floor and give yourself 2 breaths, just sensing your connection to the ground. You can use a long sigh through the mouth as a way to just let go of your week, let go of your day. And then after 2 breaths at the feet, take 2 breaths sensing your lower legs and your knees. And then take 2 breaths sensing your thighs and your hips. And noticing your sacrum and your 2 sit bones here on your seat. You can make little movements as you're doing this check-in to help you feel the particular area better. And then scanning up from your sacrum into your low back spine, into your middle spine, up into your upper back, and all the way into your neck. And then last 2 breaths, just feeling the space in the center of the head. And also maybe sensing the quality of your facial muscles, your eyes. And then open the lens of attention so that you can feel your body all the way from your head down into your feet. What does your body feel like this afternoon? And then how is the breath breathing you right now? Where do you feel the movement of your inhalation, your exhalation? And then also taking a note of your emotional space, your mental space right now. And then what is your intention for practicing today? What motivated you to show up on your chair and at the screen? And connect with your intention as an inquiry, as a statement, as a word or a quality. And just repeating that 3 times. Good. We'll start to just add in a natural spinal movement to get the breath flowing a little bit more easily. So you can put your hands on your thighs and you can explore just tucking your tail and allowing your low back to round, your middle back to round, your neck to drop. So finding that C-curve spine. Maybe take a breath here into the back body. And then you can pull with your hands to untuck your tail and allow your pelvis to tilt forward, your low back to arch, your middle back, your upper back, and maybe a little movement to the neck. And you could start small first. So you can, slide the hands forward, pushing, and pull the hands back. Good. And just listen to your body and find a rhythm that allows your breath to feel easeful. And you could start to migrate into a bigger movement with the arms. So when you slide the arms back with that extension, you could also pull the elbows further and have the palms up, and that gets a bigger stretch into those shoulders. And then when you round, you can choose to slide the hands lower and fold from your hips as well. So combining more joint range as you're ready. So the spine is more familiar with these 2 movements, flexion and extension. And if we've been, just sitting all day, it's a great way to just start to warm up the back muscles. Good. Take another round. You could, if you're folding, you could even hang down in the forward fold, making a little shift side to side. So feel free to make it your own and add, little variations. Maybe here with that extension, you could stay, you could make little shifts as well. And then next time when you come back to center, we're just gonna check in and just notice how these 2 directions of movement are landing in our bodies. And then we'll add in lateral bends. So we'll do it with a little exploration with the hands. You can hold on to the right side of your ribs and find a lateral breath here first without too much of a side bend. And then when you're ready, you can put the other hand on the seat of the chair and just find a little bit more side bend. And then take the breath into your right side again. And then when you exhale, can you sense maybe this left side contracting a little bit more to help open up the right side? And then your choice, you could, lift this arm and deepen that side bend with the weight of the arm. And then we'll slowly come out. Take a free breath in between and compare, sense and feel. And then we'll explore our side bend lateral breath. So you can take the hands onto the left side. Take a breath and just notice how much movement you have on this side. And there might be a difference between one side and the other. And then when you're ready, you can add in a little bit more of a side bend. You can have support. This right hand can be down on your thigh, holding onto your chair. Maybe exhaling out through the mouth as a way to soften the diaphragm more. And then you could add in lifting the arm to deepen the load, the stretch, as it's comfortable for your body. And we'll slowly come out of this side. And then checking in, notice your side ribs, your side body. Okay, and then we'll take a wider stance for the twisting motion here. So from here, we'll start with a small twisting motion first. So you can place right hand on left shoulder and then open up. And notice that junction between your ribs and your low back, the high part of your low back. So this bone there, the T12, is where you have the most rotation, not counting your neck. And so can you feel the rotation in that middle back? And you can follow the head with that hand. Good. One more time in this direction with a rotation. And then you could slide this hand all the way down the other and return. Take a free breath in between, sense and feel. And let's do the other side with this half wing and prayer movement. You can gaze down at the fingertips and then finding your natural range, opening out to your left side and returning towards your right side. Link your breath with your movement. So there's a meditative quality to the practice when we do that. It helps to improve our focus and concentration. You can inhale as you open up. You can exhale as you come back. Good. Next time when you return, Slide that hand down the other arm and turn the body back to center. Okay. And then from here, we'll do a contralateral reach. So you can reach the right arm across to the left side. You can add in a little bit of a rounded shape to your upper back. And then pull back. And then reach and pretend like there is somebody blowing lots of bubbles in the room, and you're trying to pop bubbles. So bubble popping, and the bubbles are flying around in various positions. So they're not just at one height, they're at various heights. They're at various angles, so they're, you know, can be more in front of you, they can be more out to the side, they can be down by your feet, and find this reach contralaterally and explore your range. And notice how when you lean towards the side, the feet have to turn on. And so just watch that tendency when you lean over, is the tendency as the weight goes into the foot for you to collapse the arch. And if you sense the arch collapsing, can you push into the base of the big toe with and kind of lift in the center of the foot in the arch? So the weight descends through kind of the base of the big toe, base of the little toe, and the heel, but not into the arch. Good. And make sure you've got all the bubbles popped. And we're going to return back to center. Just check in, notice how these spinal movements are feeling in your spine, in your body. And then we're going to come to our friend, the blanket, and add in the variable landscape. So you can grab your blanket and just open it out, and don't let it be neat. So we want it to be a little uneven. So I'm just gonna dump it on the floor in front of my feet. Make it a little messier so that I have a little bit of a variable land. Okay, and then you want your feet on that variable land. And we'll do half chair sun salutations here with the feet on uneven surface. Okay, so on your inhale, you can raise the arms up. So classical or sequencing, and exhale, you can fold. Inhale, you can come halfway up and your hands can go on your thighs and you're halfway up like this, or you could press on your shins, so whichever version. And then fold again on the second exhale. And then come up, you can sweep the arms out, let the arms lift the middle back, and then the head will follow. And then hands back to your heart. Take a breath here, notice your uneven surface, and when you're ready, explore a couple more rounds of the half sun salutation with the uneven surface, and you can play around with your arm positioning. I'm feeling like taking the hands to my low back here. Halfway, I'm getting some support. Exhale, I'm taking my hands to the floor. And arms lift back, and then the head follows. Good. Take a free breath. And then last round of this chair salutation. Go at your steady breath. Find your forward fold, feel your feet halfway up, any arm variation that you like, forward fold, and your third in-breath leads you all the way back up, and exhaling, hand to your heart. Okay, and then start just walking your feet around here on this variable land. And just noticing how that feels. This is just like stimulating the proprioceptors in the feet. And then when you're ready, I've got to move mine a little closer to come up to stand. So you shift your weight towards that squat, and then you can rise up on your uneven surface. Okay, and again, we are gonna talk to those mechanoreceptors, proprioceptors in the feet, stimulating them by walking on our uneven surface. Okay, so you can walk on your blanket, you can walk on the edge. Good. And then come to the center of it. And we're going to add in a little contralateral pattern so that we continue to stimulate the brain even more. So you're going to lift your right heel and left arm forward and then switch. So you can stay with just lifting the heel, or if you're steady, you can choose to lift the whole foot off of the floor. So a little contralateral march, and keep checking in. Sometimes your brain gets a little sneaky and it might just switch and it might like start moving the same side limbs. So catch your brain if it starts doing that. Okay, and good. And just noticing how it feels to be on an uneven surface. We don't usually do that unless we go outside and walk, on dirt. So, few more rounds of this contralateral march. Okay. And stop. Stand on an even surface and check in on your feet and notice how your balance feels on this even surface now after you stimulated those intrinsic foot muscles. Okay. Notice the quality of your breath. Allow the breath to become longer, smoother, and let that slow pace. So we're trying to slow the breath down and letting the heart rate slow down as well. Okay, take another breath and connect with your intention. And now, so squat down and grab your blanket. Now we're folding it up into a neater stack. Okay, so fold it up into a neater stack where it's big enough for you to balance one foot on. Okay. And we're going to use a chair as a extra support. So you can, I guess I'm going to be on my right, so you can be on your left. So if you're mirroring me, it could be left foot on your blanket. You can have the chair as support. Okay, good. And first, we're going to have a wider stance, and we're doing asymmetrical air squats first. The tendency when we're doing this asymmetrically is to put all the weight towards the side on the floor. So try to put your hip in between your 2 feet, and then take your hips back and let your knees bend in a comfortable amount for your body, and then push up. Okay, hips back, knees bend, and rise. Okay, asymmetrical air squats. Good. And then next time when we rise up, we have the option of holding onto the chair, and we're going to lift the left leg up, or right, your right, my left, okay? And then when we come down, we want to bend this knee, we want to land the toes down, and then the heel, and we find our squat, okay? We rise up, you have the chair, has a little support, and then you lower down, okay? Chair or no chair, your choice for your support. You're coming up from the squat into a little bit of a balance, a little hover, and then you can progress. You can look and reach towards that left hand if that's comfortable. Good. And then we'll balance here. You can hold on to the chair, and you could swing this leg. Could be forward, could be back, could be with the knee bent or straight. A little bit of a pendulum action. And since we are using this hand, so if you're comfortable, you could release the chair and do this. Okay? If you're holding on to the chair, swing the same side limbs in opposite directions, okay? Either way, it's a little bit of a contralateral pattern. So this is option A, pendulum swings. Option B, it's a little trickier. You might kick the chair. Okay, good. And, whoa, it's a lot of work. And then hold. Try to balance like you're in Tadasana. Feel your belly draw in and everything just kind of hold and stabilize here. Soften this knee and step down. Okay, and then step down. Take a little bit of a walk. You might feel lopsided. Okay, thankfully we have the other side to do. So you pick how you want to orient yourself. So you can just squat down, grab your blanket, go to the other side. I'm going to reposition so I stay on the frame. Okay, but be aware of your posture as you're moving your props around. Neutral neck, neutral spine. So you're gonna get that in the right place. Okay. Second side, so it's gonna be, so this is my left leg, might be your right. Find your balance here. Oh, and we're doing squats first. So feet a little bit wide, hip in the center. Find your air squats. So I'm noticing the side that's higher up feels like it has to work a bit more. And then we're going to rise and balance on this side, and you can have a little support from the chair, and then you could lower back down, lift up, lower down. The skill when we lower down is not to keep the leg straight. We want to land with toes first, and then the knee bends, and then the heel lands. Okay, so toes down, then heels. Toe, heel. And as we do that, I can feel like this side has to stabilize a lot as I'm coming down into the descent. So there's work on both ends, on the ascent and the descent. Okay, and then hold, pendulum swings. We'll do it with the same side limbs going in opposite directions. So this one, the advantage of this one is we get a little help from the chair. If you're feeling pretty stable, you could try the contralateral with the opposite limbs, or they cross each other at the front. Okay, good. And you could try to look up. And the little cheat is you can always rest your toes down for a little better balance as well. Good. Hover, stand in Tadasana with this foot floating. Feel everything engage. And then step down, step off. Woo, you're back on even surface. Notice how that feels in your brain as your brain like navigates and senses that. And then just take a walk around. Hopefully you feel more balanced now. Okay. Cool. We're gonna continue. So now the orientation that we want with the blanket and the chairs, we're gonna be facing the chair. We want this blanket over on the right side. Okay, by the side of the chair. Yeah, we're going to use it for some yoga poses. And so from here, we hip hinge, bend over, we put the hands on the chair. We get a nice little glute hip stretch. And you could widen your feet for this one, or you could move your hips side to side. You could start to make hip circles. So stretching through those hamstrings. Couple more rounds in this first direction with your hip circle. Let your neck receive the movement from your hip. So it might feel like a little side bend in the neck. And then go in the other direction with these hip circles. Explore your range, the width of your feet from each other. Good. And then stretch back. You might walk your feet back so that they're more in line with your hip sockets. And then bend the knees and pull the sit bones back to stretch your back out more. Neutral neck. Take another breath here. And then you can deepen that squat as you like. So a squat dog. And then slowly you can explore shifting forward towards that plank. And keep adjusting your stance to, get the right plank position and shift back. So when you're forward, you want the shoulders above the hands or maybe a little bit more forward according to your wrists. So squat, dog, plank. Finding trunk stability, core stability here. And then we're going to add in, we're going to lift that right knee and move it towards the right elbow. And we'll land it back into squat. We'll lift the left knee towards the elbow. We'll land it back. Do that a couple more times. So the next time when you have your right knee forward, stay and step that foot onto your blanket on that right side and adjust. So I realize mine is a little too far away, so I've got to move it in towards the chair more. And my right foot is on the blanket. Let me move my chair so that you can see it. Okay. Good, so you're on a little bit of a variable surface on that front foot. Okay? Go ahead and come onto your fingertips and explore extending that knee, bending that knee. You can hold on to the chair to share a little load off of that knee. Okay. Let the kneecap track with your middle toes. So just watch that tracking and move in a range that is comfortable. Good. And then go ahead and keep that knee bent. And then you could shift the hands off of the chair, so now you're in a full standing pose. And from here, we'll add in little movement to the back. So you can pull and mini dive. Okay, pull and a little mini dive. So getting your spine through extension, through flexion here. The next time when you're up towards more extension, we'll raise the arms into basically warrior one. And watch your arch on that front foot. Is it collapsing? Can you ground down the base of the big toe, but lift the arch? Okay. Take another breath here. And then we'll slowly lower the hands again. And we're going to be balancing a little bit on the front foot. So you can reposition your back foot a little closer and just explore lifting the heel, the back heel up first and lowering. Hands can be on the chair, okay? So you can have the right hand on the high part of the chair. So for some of us, maybe this is where we're exploring. We're just gonna lift the back heel, shift the weight into the front leg. If you wanna progress, you can lift the back leg up and then you slowly lower down. It's basically the lift that you do into a half moon, yeah? But we're doing it as a drill, finding hip stability, okay? So you can lift the leg as high as you want. Could be heel, shifting, or you can come all the way. And you have a little support from the chair. Okay. Good. Next time, when you lower down the back foot, put your hands on the chair and take your right foot off of the blanket and put it underneath the blanket. So now you're back on the ground, on level ground. Okay, come up into your warrior and notice how your warrior feels now that you're on level ground. Okay, and then exhale, hands to your heart. Take a breath here. and then straighten out that front leg. Open your arms, align your hip so that you're more in that triangle positioning, okay? And then you could explore side bending towards that front leg. Breathing into here. And then come back up. Now bend that front knee. Adjust your stance. We're going to come back to that half moon prep thing, this time without the foot on the blanket. The foot is on level ground, okay? So come up into your balance and notice how it is. Is it easier now that you're on level ground? Can you feel how your foot is more stable? Okay, and then slowly lower, bend the standing knee, lower the back foot, hand on your chair, step back, stretch your back out. So downward dog here. You could move the hips side to side. You can move the hips in a circle. Good. And so we do have to come out so we can move our blanket. So when you're ready, you're going to step forward and come out. You can come out through a squat. Come towards your blanket, squat down, pick it up. And let's move it over to the second side. Okay, so I want to turn this way. So, blanket on the left side. And yeah, put it right next to the chair. And in this case, you don't need to make it neat. It's actually better if it's a little messy. Okay. And again, we're coming into our squat dog here. And you could make, well, I guess we did hip circles first. So you can start with the legs more straight. And you can explore hip circling here. And go in the other direction with your hip circles. Good. And then feet more in line with the hip sockets. Bend the knees, squat dog. Pull your sit bones back more to stretch through your back, your hamstrings. Take a breath here, neutral neck. And then next time when you exhale, explore, going forward, finding your plank pose. And inhale, moving back to your squat dog. Few more rounds at your steady breath. Add ins. Knee to elbow, same side. You can start with the left first this time. So left knee to elbow, return. Right knee to right elbow, step back. A few more rounds like that. And it doesn't have to look like what I'm doing. You can raise that knee as much as is comfortable for your body. Finding that core strength and stability. Good. Next time when that left knee goes forward, hover here. Can you feel your upper abdominals work, like the space right at the floating ribs, stabilizing, and then step the foot onto your blanket. Make sure that you've got all your foot there, it's in the right place, it's not too wide out, okay? So left foot, lower the right heel down if it's up, and you can have some of your hands still on the chair so you're not putting all the weight on that knee, okay? And then you're just exploring bending and extending your front knee. Watch how it's tracking. Keep it consistent with the toes, the middle toes. And make sure you're not, obviously turned out with your toes. It's all in line with the hip socket. Good. And then keep the knee bent. Push your weight into your back foot and rise up into a warrior one shape. And we'll do a mini dive rise, so you can pull to get your back extension. You can do a mini dive to get a little flexion. You can synchronize your breath in either order. I like inhaling with a rounded shape because it can get the breathing into the back body better. And then next time when you're up towards extension more, again, keep working the back foot, push the outer edge down so you feel the glutes turn on, and then raise your arms into warrior one, classical warrior one arms. Take a breath here. Notice how you have to work a lot harder on an uneven surface with those intrinsic foot muscles, yeah? And then hands back down, little drill towards a half moon legs. So hands can go down, adjust your foot so that it's in a line with the front foot, and your hip, it's more turned out to the side, okay? And then you could explore lifting that back heel up and down. So lifting up, lifting down. You can have your hand, like a left hand on the high part of the chair, and then you could explore raising that leg more. Okay, land softly. So the skill, again, on the descent is to go with control down, and we have little support from the chair. And a lot of stability in those glutes, and then linking up to those intrinsic foot muscles working. Okay, few more rounds of this drill, half moon rising. And the next time when you come down, step off of the blanket. You can kick it and put your feet back on level ground. Okay, align your feet again, okay, for warrior one, and come up, push the outer edge of your back foot down, and notice how this warrior one feels after all that work on the front leg. Does it feel a little steadier than your regular warrior? Okay, and then lower your hand. You get to explore coming up through the half moon here. So you could hold the chair like this. You could lift just part way and find your balance here, or you could lift higher, okay? And you've got the chair. Half moon balance here. Take another breath here. And then to come down, you have to bend that standing knee, slowly lower, and then transition, hand back onto the chair, step on back. Hey, I forgot the other standing poses. Sorry. Come back, step forward with the left. Okay. We've got our triangle to do too, okay? So come back up to warrior one. Straighten out the front leg, okay? And open up. And don't lock into this knee, okay? A little bit soft so the muscles are working. And then side bend. Good. Come up, bend that knee, hands back into the chair, step back. Your choice. You can take the stretch statically. You can move your hips side to side. You can move your hips through the circle. You could do your squat dog plank. Good. And then take 3 breaths in stillness. So I like this like squat like this where it's completely passive and my palms are on the chair, and it helps to open up the breath into the chest, the underarm area. You can use the sigh through the mouth. It's long and steady with that exhale. And then shift the weight all into your feet and rise up from the squat. Good work. Stand on your even surface, hand on the heart, hand on the belly, and feel your relationship to the ground now. Take 3 breaths with that connection to the earth, to your feet. Do your feet feel a little bit more alive after working with variable landscapes? And can you sense your connection to the floor a little bit more vividly after this sequence? Okay. When you're ready, we'll come back and sit on the chair. So from here, we'll take the feet wide, and you could do hip circles, just loosening the back body through these hip circles, shifting your weight. And I'm feeling like going side to side now, so you can do that too if that appeals to you. And then eventually lean over to the right side, and then you could internally rotate the left shoulder and push, so a little bit of a back stretch. And then go to the other side, internally rotate and push. And then come to center and forward fold down. Again, feel your arch. Are you letting it collapse as the weight shift? Or can you find the weight descending through the base of the big toe, but there's an intrinsic lift in the center of your foot? And then neutral neck. You can make little neck rotations to relax any tensioning. Take another breath here. And then your choice, you could lengthen your spine and hinge up with neutral spine, or you could pull your belly in and roll up. And we'll lengthen last movements here. You can lengthen the right leg and just point and flex through the toes, the ankle. Make some circles through those ankles. Go in the other direction. And then other side. Lengthen through your left leg. You can point and flex from the toes and the ankles. And then make some circles from the ankle, and then obviously the knee is going to move along and not the hip. It's all connected. And then go in the other direction with your ankle circling. Okay. Last piece is a little self-massage around the outer thighs, along the knees, down to the outside of the lower legs, and then also on the quads, the inner thigh. And then you could brush. So brushing down, down, just releasing any tensioning down into the earth. You can even, I'm in the forward fold, so I'm getting my calves as well. So just using the tapping, the brushing to release any excess tensioning that may have occurred as we were doing all that standing work, okay? And then coming to stillness. You can lean back to have some back support in the chair if that allows you to relax better. And notice your feet on the ground now. And noticing how this work with the variable lambs, how it feels in your brain and your nervous system. Like you did before, give yourself 2 breaths, feeling all of your toes, feeling the arches, the skin, so all the sensations of your feet, all the sensations of this connection with the floor. And then your pace, your timing, just keep moving your attention up in this body scan. Feel your lower legs and your knees. Give yourself 2 breaths, just savoring the sensations and the aliveness of your body right now. Giving thanks for all that you are capable of right now. And then keep moving your attention up to the next area. Stay, sense and feel, and giving this part of your body your attention, your gratitude, your breath. Once you get into the hips, sense your foundation there, the sit bones on the chair. 2 breaths, feeling this second foundation. And then sensing the root of the spine, the sacrum here. Sometimes, it helps if you feel, to have little movement as you feel into this root. And then feeling the lumbar spine. Feeling your middle spine. All the way up to the neck. And then soften the face and rest your attention in the space in the center of your head. attention to sense the body as a whole. Notice the quality to the body after practice. And notice the depth and texture of your natural breathing. And then also sensing and feeling what the movement of thinking is like right now. What the movement of emotions are like right now. And recognizing how all of these dynamic parts of you are that. They're always changing, and feeling yourself as not just one aspect, but all of it. The dynamic moving aspects, as well as the spaciousness that contains it, the presence that contains it. And we'll touch hands together at heart. Take a full breath to heart center. And bowing your head to your heart. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.